Okay, what language did Jesus speak? And what language did he teach the people? The answer is actually fairly simple historically. He spoke the language of Aramaic because everyone at that time in that area of the world spoke Aramaic. You see, the Hebrew people, the Jewish people, spoke Hebrew, and that was their historic language. And of course, it was the language of their scriptures, the Hebrew text of the scriptures, that what we know in Christianity as the Old Testament, but is known as the Jewish scriptures also, the Tanakh. That is in Hebrew, except for a few small passages in Aramaic. After the captivity in Babylon and the coming back to the land and other things historically that happened, Aramaic, a language that covered a vast area around that part of the world, became the main language spoken by the local people. Now, a lot of people spoke Greek because the Greeks under Alexander the Great had conquered mass areas, most of the area of that part of the world. And so their language was the literature language, the intelligence language, the language in the schools and scholarship that was used. And the Roman language, Latin, was spoken, of course, in government affairs and things such as that, because they were under the rule of the Romans. But for the local people, the people that Jesus grew up among, the people who raised him, the people he taught and talked to every day, Aramaic was the language. That's the language Jesus spoke. We know that also because throughout the New Testament, every now and then, there are quotations from Jesus that are actually written down in Aramaic. When he tells a little child to get up out of bed because she's been healed, he says, and I'm going to mess this up, but he says, Talitha kum, which means, arise, little girl, get up, little girl. On the cross, when he screams out the words, Eloi, Eloi, lama sabachthani. Again, I'm sure I messed that up as far as the pronunciation is concerned. But when he screams those words, those are Aramaic words, not Hebrew words. He spoke Aramaic, and they're translated right in the text into the Greek for us. And that's the issue. Because Jesus spoke in Aramaic, and the entire New Testament is written in Greek, the language of literature and learning of that day. We have no copies, original copies of the text of the New Testament, but we know that the copies we have are all in Greek. We have no original text of anything in the Bible at all. And so the copies we have are in Greek. And Jesus spoke Aramaic. And that's a problem because how do you get his quotations exact when you're not quoting the same language that he spoke? You can't get them for certain. Do we know what Jesus said? Not exactly, because he spoke in Aramaic, and it's written down for us in Greek. And it's even more complicated than that. We'll talk about it more in a moment. This is Ori with De.Fundied.